ADP has always been famous for its GX attack, being able to take an extra prize for every KO you take and do 30 more damage for the rest of the game. And with Zacian V being able to KO pretty much anything in the game, you could easily win the game in as little as 3 turns. But what if I told you it was much easier to get the GX attack off on your first turn thanks to this one card? Let's go take a look. So to get off this insane GX attack turn 1, all we have to do is play the Bronzong from Battle Styles with the Metal Transfer ability, which allows you to move a metal energy from one of your Pokemon to another as often as you like during your turn. Although, of course, Ultra Creation GX costs 1 metal and 1 water energy to get both effects of taking an extra prize card and doing 30 damage for the rest of the game. We do have to play 4 Aurora energy to account for the water energy cost, which basically, and Aurora energy basically provides 1 of any energy at a time, and basically Bronzong also allows us to metal transfer the Aurora energy as well, as it does technically count as a metal energy. So yeah, Bronzong basically allows you to not rely solely on energy switch as the main way to power up Ultra Creation, which can be really nice if you know, you're under item lock and stuff like that. Not only this, but the previous evolution of Bronzong, Bronzor, we play in a deck, it has an ability, Evolutionary Advantage, which allows us to evolve it on our first turn if we go second, so we can, you know, really easily get the Ultra Creation off on our first turn doing this. So anyway, after we've used the GX attack, we can hopefully use ADP's main attack, Ultimate Ray, for 180 damage, and then accelerate 3 metal energy from our deck to our Zacian V and take a couple prizes, or maybe even 3 prizes, depending on if our opponent plays a low HP 2 prizer like the Dedenne-GX, Crobat V, or Squawkabilly X, which we also play in our own deck. And at this point the game is pretty much done if we are able to KO another 2 prize Pokemon on our opponent's side of the board, and basically we have some really interesting tech cards that can help us turn the game in our favour whilst we are playing to seal up the win in as little as 3 turns, and these cards are as follows. Latias EX gives us free retreat on all of our Pokemon in our deck as they are all basic Pokemon. Marshadow-GX allows us to copy basic Pokemon's attacks from the discard pile and hits for fighting type weakness on mainly lightning type decks. Rusted Sword is a tool card that allows Zacian V to do 30 more damage, so we can do up to like 290 damage with the Brave Blade attack on the basic Zacian V. Our A-spec of choice is weirdly Survival Brace, believe it or not. You know, this is just in case our opponent manages to one-shot us, we can still survive the hit by being left with 10 HP remaining, which can really come in clutch, especially towards the end of the game, which is really good. Further adding to the cards that don't get us knocked out easily, we play Penny, which allows us to scoop any basic Pokemon we have in play up into our hand, which can come really handy in some niche scenarios. Our final tech card, I guess you could say, for this one in the deck is Zacian VSTAR, which basically allows us to OHKO anything in the game with its Sword Star VSTAR attack, which does 310 base damage, which is mental, and then you've got to consider the fact that we probably will have Ultra Creation as an effect, so that's 340 damage, which does knock out anything in the game. Other than that, our supporters are sort of standard for any expanded beta list like this, obviously really turbo deck. We do play 4 copies of Professor's Research, 2 copies of both Guzma and Boss's Orders for gusting options, and 1 copy of Guzma and Hala, which allows us to grab that special energy card, aka Aurora Energy, a stadium, and a tool card like Rusted Sword or Survival Brace. But as always, you can view the rest of the deck and copy and paste it into TCG Live. I cannot talk today for the life of me, from the description, and play it yourself. But do you love or hate ADP? Is it like your Marmite? Do you love it or hate it? Let me know in the comments below. Alright, getting into our first game then, and it looks like we might be playing against the new Jellicent EX. This could be crazy. I've seen this deck quite a few times when I've been playing games recently. It's quite the stall deck. You know, obviously Jellicent EX prevents you from playing tool cards and item cards from your hand, which is crazy. So we could be in for a ride here, folks. Anyway, we can see what we can do. We do have an okay start. Here's the Aurora Energy coming down. I think I will discard the Guzma and could quick ball here for Zacian, and then attach the Rusted or Busted Sword, as I like to call it, to it, so that would be pretty good. We could also you know, Squawkabilly X maybe, or Dedenne or something like that, just as an extra draw. But I do have the Crobat V in the hand, so there's always that to consider. I think it is safe just to go get the Zacian V here. And then we can attach the Busted Sword and just Crobat for a fresh 6 cards and see what we can get. Okay, there's a Bronzong, that's great. That means we can just evolve straight into that on our first turn because of evolutionary advantage. That is absolutely crazy. We can attach the Air Balloon to Crobat, that's completely fine. I could Dedenne here. There's also a Research, probably better to be honest. Do we get... No, we still don't have the turn 1 altered creation here, but we can get Latias EX for free retreat. No, I really do want to get this altered creation off turn 1, so that seems really good to me. We can Squawkabilly here for a fresh 6 cards as it is our first turn, which is absolutely crazy, and we do get it with the Metal Saucer. That is actually really good. Not the best of hands otherwise though, but we can definitely metal transfer that metal energy from the Zacian V to the ADP in the active and just alter creation, and yeah, that means we're doing 30 more damage and taking an extra prize card for every knockout we take for the rest of the game, which is honestly mental. And to be honest, in expanded beta, I don't think there is any way that you can like remove the effect of alter creation, unlike Pokemon Ranger from X and Y, which is absolutely crazy. So yeah, it's sort of like unbeatable once you get it off, if that makes sense. Anyway, we do top deck another Aurora Energy. I am probably happy just to Ultimate Ray here for 180 damage. It's probably better to attach to Aurora Energy just so we can, you know, have better access to energy on our board. It's pretty good. We can definitely just Ultimate Ray, and we can power up the Zacian V on the bench with our last free metal energy in the deck. This is absolutely crazy, and yeah, we'll see what they can do. I imagine they're going to Monkey Dory some damage off, but even then we're still knocking the Jellicent EX out, so I'm not sure what they can do. I guess they have a bunch of heal cards in their deck if it's a stall deck, which is kind of wild, but yes, we are definitely in the driving seat here. As I say that, there's an Acerola coming in there. They've scooped up the damaged Jellicent and they put it straight back down onto their bench. That is absolutely wild. So yeah, they've done that pretty well, but even then they're not doing anything because they don't have any energy attached, so they can't attach, so they're just like sitting in the active, which isn't great for them. But I'm just happy to Ultimate Ray again. They only have a 2-card hand, so it's like, you know, what can you do? 2 cards isn't a lot. They actually kind of misplayed. They could have Monkey Doried 60 damage off onto my ADP or something, and then Acerola'd, and then done 60 more damage as they're going to do this turn. So they've missed out on a free 60 damage, if you ask me, just to put anywhere on the board. And you know, that like knocks out the Bronzong on the bench, which is actually, you know, quite a pivotal card for us, especially as we only have one on the bench and in play. Anyway, here comes an Iono. That's really good for us. We didn't have the greatest of hands. We get a research, that's good. There's an energy switch, Guzma as well. That Guzma actually really helps. They are going to switch into a different Jellicent EX, so my plan is to just, you know, go into Zacian with the Guzma potentially, and just knock it out, and you know, go from there, which is absolutely crazy. We top deck Zacian V-STAR. Speaking of, oh my god, this deck is broken. Yeah, we can just Guzma, and we don't even have to use the V-STAR power yet, or V-STAR attack, which is absolutely wild. We can just break edge for 230 damage, which is absolutely crazy, because we can just knock out the Jellicent. That's completely fine, and just take 3 prizes, and we are literally just like 1 turn away from winning the game. It's that mental. How has ADP been allowed to be printed? That is just crazy. That this card has just changed the game. I mean, it changed the game when it's in standard. It had a really good stint around COVID, and you know, obviously in expanded beta it's a lot better, has much more access to you know, better cards. And even then, ADP is still pretty good in real expanded with black and white on cards, because you know, you have double dragon energy and cards like that, so you can just like attach a single energy for turn and get altered creation off. But that's just mental. Here comes a crushing hammer. It doesn't really matter because we do have an energy in hand. We get a tails anyway. This deck is just so crazy, and they just pass. They just give the game to me because I can just attach from hand and literally just use the V-STAR Sword Star for 340 damage to Oko the Jellicent EX and take 3 more prizes to win the game. What? That is mental. Alright, getting into a second game then, and we don't have the best of starts because we're going first. Doesn't matter too much, we do have a research in the hand for next turn, and honestly I have no idea what we're playing against. They just have a random Ordino in the active that they can draw a card with the hearing ability. This is going to be quite a strange matchup, I think. Let's see what our opponents cooked up though. They benched Gossifleur and they just pass. Okay. We get the Bronzor, sorry. Unfortunately we can't evolve it this turn because we haven't gone second. We do get a Bronzong, sorry, I get them mixed up so much, into the hand. We can quick ball for a, I'm thinking maybe a Zacian V is completely fine. We can always Intrepid Sword at the end of our turn, and I can attach the Aurora energy to the ADP and just go from here. Intrepid Sword, we do get a metal energy off those 3 cards, so we'll be able to attach it to the Zacian V, and yeah, that's our turn done. See what our opponent is playing. Yeah, this is such a strange matchup. They're hearing for an extra card. Why are you playing an Audino in a deck? Surely Audino is just like not a good card to play in expanded beta. Yes, this is strange. Anyway, we do have a good turn next turn because we can evolve into the Bronzong. We can Metal Saucer, I think. Do we have an energy in the discard? I'm not sure. Anyway, they do retreat into the Gossifleur. Looks like they're going to call for family for some basic Pokemon. And we will be able to get a Dedenne-GX Dede change off as well. So it's going to be a good turn for us, I think. We will be able to get the Ultra Creation off on our second turn, which isn't too bad considering our opponent's weak start. We can just evolve here. We do get the energy switch, that's kind of funny. We can Metal Saucer the Metal Energy onto the Zacian. Our Metal Transfer onto the ADP. And we've got the Air Balloon on the Crobat, so we do have free retreat here, no need to use the escape rope. I can just detonate for a fresh 6 cards. This deck is so turbo, it's actually kind of crazy. We do get another Bronzong into the active, or into the hand, sorry. We can just retreat, and I think I'll just Ultra Creation after I've attached the energy from hand. Okay, we are taking 2 prizes for every knockout now, and we're doing 30 more damage. Not that I think it will matter too much because the max HP that they have in play is like 90 at the moment, which is actually kind of crazy. It's not really needed, but we need those extra prizes so we can end the game super quickly. They will Cotton Lift on the Eldegoss that they've just evolved into. They will get energy from the deck into their hand. Oh, I see what this deck is now. They're going to Smeargle and do a bunch of damage for each and different type of energy that they have in their hand. This is interesting knowledge. Yeah, that's actually kind of a sick deck idea. You have the Eldegoss to get energy from the deck into your hand and then just go from there. That is really crazy. Surely there's a way to optimize this deck to make it so much better. Anyway, why are you playing Bead? Why are you playing Bead? It's so strange, such a strange deck. Bead was like the worst supporter when it was printed back in Sword and Shield. Why would you play it? That's so weird. Anyway, we don't question what our opponent's playing. We just play and win the game. Anyway, do retreat into the Audino. Okay, and just hearing for an extra card, and it looks like they're just going to pass because they can't do anything, right? This is such a strange matchup. What is going on? Somebody explain to me what is going on. They attach to the Smeargle, okay, and they just pass, okay. We top deck a Marshadow, that's kind of funny. Because we can do weakness to the Audino. Anyway, we can just Metal Transfer. I think I'll take 1 energy off the Zacian and put it on the ADP. I think I'm pretty much just happy to research. Losing 2 Metal Saucer does kind of suck, but we're here now. We got the Survival Brace that can actually help if they do manage to knock out a Zacian V, for example, so we'll attach that in a second. We do have the Aurora energy now. We can discard the Bronzor, don't need that anymore. And I can just 180 damage Ultimate Ray for our first 2 prizes, and I can just finish powering up the Zacian V on the bench. And the crazy thing is we're getting 2 prizes here, which is mental, so we will be able to see more prize cards here. What do you think of my sleeves, by the way? I think they're really cool. We get a Research and a Hisuian Heavy Ball off those prizes. So yeah, I think we're in a completely safe spot, to be honest. They don't have, actually they do have quite a few energy, or different type of energy in the hand, so we can just like, you know, survive that, I guess. I guess they could gust us up and take a knockout on something like a Dedenne or a Crobat, but even then we're still sorry, that's my alarm there. We can still like just body this deck. It's actually crazy. They cotton lift again, that's completely fine. And yeah, they're just gonna fill their hand with a bunch of energy. Doesn't this deck kind of suck against, like, if you just get IO node and you just lose all the energy from your hand? I guess you have the cotton lift to get it back, but still, it's not great if you don't have those Elder Goss online and ready to go. Anyway, yeah, we're just gonna absolutely body this. Oh, they've got a boss. Okay, that's fair enough. They don't go for the Zacian though. That is interesting. I would have 100% have gone for the Zacian there, because that's like my main attacker, and you're doing like what, 210 damage? Are you doing 210? No, 240. So you are knocking out the Zacian V, which is crazy. They haven't seen that. Anyway, we can just should I put up the ADP? I will go for the Zacian, it's less prizes. Zacian's only worth 2 prizes. We drop like a Guzma, that's actually pretty good. We can attach the Survival Brace in case they do knock us out next turn in one hit, so you know we can survive a hit there and you know just win with a Zacian maybe. Like that, and we can just take 2 prizes again. This is such a good deck. And there's the Zacian V-STAR. So even though we technically can't attack next turn because the Brave Blade attack states that we can't attack during our next turn, we can evolve into the Zacian V-STAR and just attack for gain. That is actually wild. That is mental. That we can do that. To be honest, I don't know what they're gonna do, because we've just like wiped out their main attacker. We've only got to take 1 more knockout to win the game, and you know even if they knock out the ADP, they go down to 1 prize and we still win. So I think that is pretty much checkmate, GG, shake my hand. But we'll see what they can do. I guess they could like Iono us or something like that to 2 cards. That could be pretty disruptive. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that we've secured a win. We do have Guzma in hand, we have Boss in hand, we even have Penny, which is actually wild. So even if they, you know, don't like quite knock us out, we can just scoop up the Zacian V, for example, with Penny, and then just, you know, attack with ADP for the game. So we have so many ways to win here, ladies and gentlemen, which is absolutely crazy. This deck is just so wild. I mean, ADP, why is this a thing? It's just too broken. You could argue that it should be banned because it's that broken. I don't know. What do you think of the card in the comments? Do you love playing it, or do you hate it just because, you know, you win the game in 3 turns? I imagine if you're playing the deck, you love it because you're winning games and you're taking extra prizes and all that good stuff. But if you're playing against it, is it really that good? Of course not. You're not gonna like it that much if you finished the game within 3 turns. It's actually kind of wild, and they just give the game to us. What? That's crazy. We could have attached a Rusted Sword. That's kind of crazy as well. We can evolve into the Zacian V-STAR and just win the game. Why doesn't Rusted Sword work on the Zacian V-STAR, by the way? You've got to let me know on that in the comments, because we should be doing 370 damage, right, instead of 340. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. GG's. What a crazy deck. ADP is holding a very unique title in that it changed the Pokemon TCG forever, and I'm not sure that we've seen any similar card since then printed, but this isn't the only ADP video I've done on my channel. So if you want to see this card played in a slightly different playstyle and strategy, click on this video on your screen now. But until next time, stay strategic everyone. See ya.